Hi, my name is Jim, and I'm with Strategic Systems Group, and today we're going to have a quick conversation about what to expect when using the migration tool between GP and BC. The assistive setup guide in Business Central can help you migrate data fairly easily. As long as you have Dynamics GP 2015 on SQL Server 2012 or later versions, this tool will work with very little issue. The amount of data is migrated by this tool is expanding rapidly, but as of now, this is what you get. Chart of accounts, master records, customer master records and outstanding transactions from receivables, vendor master records and outstanding transactions from payables, inventory items, and a slew of historical data. I want to give you a small bit of information for each one of these sets of data so you know what to expect. With your chart of accounts and master records, the account number on your Business Central will be mapped from the main account segment from Dynamics GP. Remaining account segments are then defined as dimensions in Business Central, and the Assisted Setup Guide basically allows you to set Global Dimension 1 and Global Dimension 2 directly from your GP. If your chart of accounts has more than two segments outside of the main segment, the other segments are automatically set up as shortcut dimensions 3 through 8. You can verify the setup General Ledger Setup page in Business Central. Account summary transactions are generated and posted for open and history years that are set up in Dynamics GP. The summary amounts are created based on the fiscal period set up in the Dynamics GP. Customer master records and outstanding transactions. One of the great things about the tool is when you set up your customer records, you can actually choose to omit any of your inactive customers and only keep your active customers. This allows you to clean up your data a little bit and only bring things that are actually going to be utilized within BC. It'll also bring over outstanding receivables transactions. The way that it does this is by listing the amount remaining in the Dynamics GP for any unfulfilled complete invoice. So for example, if you have an invoice for $1,000 and you've already been paid $400, it'll generate a new invoice for $600, which is the remaining balance. As with vendors, it's actually very similar to customers. You can choose to omit inactive vendors, and you can bring over your outstanding payables transactions by generating new invoices for any outstanding balances that still appear. The data for the total amount that the invoice is for will still be retained in the system. It's just the way that it will make sure that any outstanding balances are tracked within your system. You can also bring over open purchase orders, but the way that it works is that if you have any items that have yet to be determined to be shipped or purchased, the items will be transferred over. If an item is fully received in invoice, the item will not be transferred over. And finally, you get the inventory items. Inventory is imported the cost valuation method that was selected with the company setup when you ran that for BC. Currently, the data migration brings the quantity on hand for the items at the time of migration. This quantity is brought into the blank location. If you have locations where this inventory is set outside of just the blank basic location, you'll have to transfer that after the data is migrated. Historical data, receivables, payables, sales order processing, purchase order processing, and inventory. This data can be used in Power BI reports and Power Apps. In Business Central Online, the data is included in the Smart List views and in the customers, vendors, and item lists where you'll be able to actually see where this data ended up. Checkbooks and outstanding transactions in bank reconciliation. All of those are brought over, but we strongly recommend that you reconcile your checkbooks before you run the migration process to Business Central, as it will bring over transactions that have not been reconciled during the migration process. And that's pretty much all that the migration tool does for now. There are a lot of plans in Microsoft to bring more and more items into this migration tool. It's a great place to start, but we highly recommend that you use somebody like Strategic Systems Group to help you with any large data migration between GP and BC. And that's the end of the presentation. Thanks so much. Bye.